And good morning, boys and girls out there in TV land. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Jedi Academy. What's Jedi Academy? Well, I'll explain it to you now. That's where we take the best and the brightest, and then you throw in the RSG crew. And we are here to answer your questions. This is a Q&A show about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So if you have a question, the way it works is you just go into chat, type in your question, and of course, make sure it's in the form of a question or says question in the front, because sometimes they can be a little ambiguous, and we may not know if you're asking a question or not. So make sure you do put in the form of a question or put a question in front of it. And then, of course, the great Dr. Finn Medicine Woman will scoop those up, and we will get those read by yours truly to the panel. Dr. Finn, how are you this morning?
I am feeling much better than I have all week.
That's right. It's been a long week for Dr. Finn.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing doctory things. And then also joining us from the RSG crew is none other than the lightsaber builder himself, Sir Loki. Sir Loki, how's it going?
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
I know we're all
excited to be here.
Yeah, got our coffee. We're ready to rock and roll. And then let's introduce the rest of the panel. That's the RSG crew. But I'm very happy to have this guy on. It's been a while, and we're glad to have him back. But you know him, you love him. Top 15 list is the best thing ever. The one and only Cubs fan hand. Let's give it up for Cubs. Cubs, what's going on, player?
What's going on, guys? I don't think we have that much to talk about this week, do we?
No,
not much going on. It was a pretty boring week, not pretty uneventful.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about Rebels. Maybe, that's all I could come up with. So.
Too soon.
What? No, it is not too soon. My God in heaven. Oh, Finn, you always say that. Also joining us, we have, I think this is our first time on here, but this is my Canadian apprentice, the one and only, the lovely Miss T-Money. T-Money G, what's going on?
Good morning, Master. How are you?
That's right. Show the respect to me.
It's going wonderfully. Right away, sir.
That's right. And then also join us from South Korea, serving our great nation of the United States of America and the U.S. Army. My old job, King Felix. King, what's going on, buddy?
Good night to everyone here.
Oh, that's right. It's nighttime there.
It's midnight.
So you're not drinking coffee, hopefully.
No, there's no coffee in my whiskey.
Right. And then across the pond, we have the twins. First, you know him, you love him, Mr. Mike Hunt. Mike, good morning.
Good afternoon.
Oh, afternoon.
Stay on target.
That's right. Pull up, Mike. I can handle it. And then also, Mike's here to translate our other guests, so that you know him, we love him. The great Turbs. Turbo's here. Turbs, what's going on, buddy?
Yay! How's everybody doing?
We're doing good. And Turbs is from the northern part of England, and Mike is from the southern, but we don't speak northern, so that's why we have Mike.
He said good afternoon.
Okay, gotcha. So go ahead and get your questions in, guys. Dr. Finn is scooping them up as we speak. He's getting them into the thing of the thing, and I'm scooping up the thing, and we will start getting to questions here. But not a very uneventful week this week, guys. Nothing really happened at all. By nothing happening, holy moly, and for holy, did the crap hit the fan this week? Oh my God. Did anybody have a problem yesterday with, I don't know, not being able to log in for an ungodly amount of time? So I guess
I was okay, fortunately.
I was asleep for it all. It's fine.
You were fine, King?
Yeah, I was asleep for all the trouble.
Oh, nice show. You were asleep. What about you, T-Money? Any issues?
Yeah, we had two players coming in and out, and one couldn't get their territory wars rewards, so we had to wait a few hours before switching folks over and launched our raid a little later than we planned, but it was good.
Anybody else? I guess it was just me live streaming yesterday that couldn't do a damn thing at all. Couldn't log into the game in any aspects during anything. Cubs, did you have any problems? Probably not. Just
No,
so really
I was working hard at work, not playing SWGOH,
right.
regrettably.
Right. For his employers out there, he was working.
But I am mad that I could not get in if I wanted to.
Oh, no.
Sounds like all of our crystals should go to Ranger and Mad Dog.
No, they'll all go to Loki because he's part of his $20,000 a month he gets from CG. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Oh, it's $20,000 a week.
No, it's a month. They don't cross certain lines. They only give him 20,000 a month. I don't know what he spends them on. I guess he just gets better mods because if you've seen Loki's mods, you would just pee your pants. They're ridiculous. I have 5.30 speed mods on all my characters, and I win. All right, and then the raid changes. I know I've spoken my piece about this. Loki's spoken his piece. Finn's spoken his piece. Anybody here, while we're getting the questions coming in, have anything about the raid changes? I mean, the Stormtrooper Han one, I think we can all agree that's kind of an obvious one. But this exposed thing has really got my burned my chaps, as I can best say it. I mean,
it's
Cubs,
stuck in your craw.
Go ahead, King.
I was gonna say it's stuck in your craw. Yeah, I have no problem with the Stormtrooper Han thing. I do think it's ridiculous that they didn't notice it beforehand, especially with him being a login character. A little bit too much of a coincidence for me. But we'll see. I mean, if they only do like 5% off of the JTR, then it really isn't going to matter. But I have a feeling like it's going to be a lot more than that. And I'm Zetaing her in the next day or two. And if it's nerfed, I'm going to be really furious.
Well, it's not just JTR. They've nerfed another good team for damage. The resistance as well.
Yeah, across all boards exposed, but we don't know what that means because there's some big as the word slightly.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. It really bothered me. Like, what is the percentage of slightly? Because your definition of slightly might be a little bit different than less than mine. I mean, you may say 5%, or I may say 5%, you may say 20% is slightly. So I don't know.
And if they don't know yet, they should just say that. But what do I know?
No, that's science.
Well, we all know that the track record of tuning. If you remember 7-star mods and such like that, I'm sure they're going to get it right.
I miss tournaments.
Oh, jeez, that disaster. What do you think, Cubs? I'm sure you've had a lot of interaction with your Discord and stuff about the changes. What are your thoughts about all the changes that they're doing to the rail already?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not a fan, and Capital Games knows I'm not a fan. I've had a lot of interactions with those guys over there. We've been in aggressive negotiations. I can put it that way. And
very nicely done.
Yeah, I wish I could share more.
That's okay.
But what I can say about this is they are listening to what the community's concerns are. And I feel like I in particular have had a good opportunity to share them pretty bluntly with at least one dev, and I know it's being passed on and heard. And I'm optimistic. I can't promise anything, but I'm optimistic that
we lose Cubs. Cubs?
The power of CG.
It won't be bad. Yeah.
They cut him off.
Did you just kill Cubs?
Cubs, buddy, are you there?
Cubs, are you there?
Am I not here?
There he is.
I didn't mute my mic.
No, I think it just cut out for a
fast gag
second.
order.
Connection.
No, he's talking. Tell him to shut up. I don't know what that is.
To hit now.
There it is.
I still have my crappy Wi-Fi, so I'll probably blame that. I'm waiting for CenturyLink to come upgrade it.
That's right. Soon Cubs will have the power to stream and everything. It'll be amazing.
Yeah. Where did I leave off?
You were saying something about the developers, and then it just kind of cut out from there.
That's funny. Yeah. So I've had a lot of interactions with one dev in particular, and I feel confident that they understand and see where we're coming from. They also have a side to their story that I hope that they explain a little bit more. But I'm confident that it won't be as bad as everyone thinks. But I don't want to make any promises either.
Yeah. Yeah, next time you talk to him, please, can you just break down territory wars and why?
the matching.
The matchmaking thing, the
Yeah, and that issue in particular, I get this a lot, and I want everyone to know. I'll state it here that item in particular, I've been really vocal about. Over there, and I in fact, when we were in Sacramento, I talked to a dev. I'm trying to remember what he did, but I explained it to him. I said, "Can you tell me if this is working as intended?" And we had a conversation about it, and he heard me out. And so I don't know how or when they're going to change that. But I feel like it cannot be. I just, in my mind, I see 30 million galactic power mismatches. You know, where you've got a guild of 130 facing a guild of 160, for example. And to me, that just can't be working as intended. And so I hope that I think right now, my guess is, I don't know this, but my guess is there's just so much else that's getting, priority right now that's kind of going by the wayside. And I won't say if that's right or wrong. I don't run a video game company. I don't know how prioritization works for that kind of thing. But we'll see. Well,
as long as they don't make it a priority, my priority will not be to spend any more money in this game. I've made that very clear. So, even if Revan came out tomorrow, I'll be like, he looks nice, I'm not buying him. So you've angered me greatly. CG, fix it. All right, let's get to the questions.
I'm calling your bluff. If Revan was out tomorrow, you buy it.
No,
don't lie to me.
Swear on my Ranger tab. I would.
Our Lord and Savior.
No, I made that announcement Wednesday because.
You really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm serious. Serious as a heart attack.
What if there were copious donations from the community?
Well, no, I'll spend it on another game or some.
We'll start a GoFundMe for Rangers Revan.
No, I'm not doing it, man. I can't give this company money when there's all this broken stuff, And so Territory Wars is broken in so many areas, But they want us to spend money on characters, but the content doesn't even work correctly, and it's just there's too much stuff in the community happening, and I got to take a stand somewhere. So I mean.
Well, and I think these concerns, it's good to voice them and post them respectfully and all of that. And I personally make a big effort to share them and try to get things done that we want done. Something that I've learned in providing feedback, I've been in positions several times where I'm talking directly with developers about this kind of stuff. And what tends to be one of my takeaways is it's not as simple as just fix it immediately.
No, I understand that part.
There's a lot of data that goes into it. Maybe one person's experience is this, but when they analyze the whole game data, it's actually not as big of an issue as the one person overblew it to seem. That kind of thing. I'm not saying that's what this is for you at all, because I see this Territory Wars thing. I think that definitely needs to get fixed. But I would just say it's a lot more complicated.
You're absolutely
conversations.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So
we've made that point on the stream that we understand things take time. Trust me, I understand. Being in my background, Finn understands this, that it takes time to fix stuff. It takes time for coding. It takes time to find issues. Trust me, I understand that part. But I mean, the thing that really bothered me is Monday I addressed it on the stream, and we didn't get any response about Territory Wars whatsoever, even though Sunday everybody was writing all this stuff when it first happened. And they said, we'll wait till Monday, blah, blah, blah. And there's been really nothing. And then finally something came out Wednesday right as we started streaming, because I think they knew I was about to explode. Is what we kind of figured. As I started reading, they posted something. But it's just, it's brutal.
It's mostly the mismatching, right? That's what you're frustrated about. It's the mismatching,
but it was also the poor communication, because we were not prepared for the level that we're at, and I don't think any of the even lower GP guilds were prepared for having to play 30 teams or 35 teams. We were understood that this was a top echelon tier, but I guess again, the ambiguous nature of what they say with their communication is, what does it mean? What does a top tier guild mean to you? And where did you put, and I went through and I read that on the stream, like, where did it say that lower end guilds, like with 80 million GP, would have to put 5 more teams on each zone? That wasn't a part of it, I mean, so there was a lot of things that I was just like, come on, man, you can't do that, because we were scrambling. I don't know how it was for your guild, but we were scrambling Sunday night. I mean, just trying to figure out how the hell we were going to do this. I mean, it changed the whole dynamic of Territory War. It's made it not fun either, because it's like 35 teams per zone is a ton. And ships, not enough ships. I mean, you really have to be creative with ships on how you're going to do it because, you know, it's either cheese or you figure something out. And we're still trying to figure it out with GP and everything. It's a lot. But I digress. I don't want to go into this whole thing.
Although I would like to say I do like the change with the banners.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I've always been a fan of that. I didn't have a problem with that.
I was 50-50 at first, but after playing a couple of them, I kind of enjoyed it, and it made me almost want to like leave an open slot just to try and get more. It just feels a little bit more challenging for me. But the teams is bad.
It's bad. Okay, it's bad.
It's worse than drugs.
It's worse than marijuana. Okay, don't be doing marijuana. Okay. All right, let's get to some questions. They're coming in. Remember, get your questions in, guys. Finn is scooping them up, and let's rock and roll. So, first question. I think this is for everybody, so I'm not going to direct this at one person. So, Lil V asks, how did everyone spend their free crystals? Well, with the 150 crystals that I got, I'd spend it on nothing. I think I did one Cantina refresh. Thanks, CG. Anybody else? I don't know if that's a tongue-in-cheek question.
I bought half a Mark III condom with it.
Wow. See? Only half, so you got 10. Okay.
I think Michael back me up on this. He knows I'm a bit of a holder, especially Zetas and stuff, and I'm on a bit of a, not a spending ban as such, but I'm holding my crystals as well, so I've not actually spent mine. I've got about 9,000 in the bank at the minute.
Oh, wow.
I need to start spending.
I know. I can't do it. I'm still trying to finish these last Cantina characters, so I'm doing my 300 refresh every day, so...
I keep saying there's so much of a grind. There's so much of a grind in the game. By the time it gets to, I don't know, I'll mod some characters, I'll bring I'll gear some people up. It's midnight and it's sleep time by the time I've done all my battles. It's just a massive grind. We'll get through it though.
All right, so Chris Wascom has a question. I'm going to put this to Loki because I know you are a big fan of this lady. Chris Wascom wants to know, question for Loki, best way to mod Visas. Oh, this is Mar.
I mod everybody the same, fast and tanky. But no, she needs some health, I guess. But I like her fast, and you throw some health on her because I guess one of her abilities she gives she heals based on her max health. So that's yeah. Other than that, I mean, you could try crit damage. She's going to be one of your biggest damage dealers in the raid, in the new Sith raid. So especially with the Zeta. So she's going to be doing a lot of assisting and all that, and she hits hard on Nihilus or Sion. But you can play around with crit damage as well. I don't know if I would go with a crit damage set, but I'd go with like crit damage triangle and play around with it. But mainly just speed secondaries and make her tanky so she survives. If she's still living, she can revive your guys and heal them up and all that. So that's what you primarily want her to do.
All right. Let's go to our newbies on the panel. Let's kind of break them in. So we'll go to T Money, ladies first. This is from Ice Bank Myself. That's really what they changed their name to.
Of course I get that one.
Yeah. Question, if you could create a realistic Zeta for a toon, which toon would it be and what would the Zeta be?
Oh gosh, that's a tough question. A realistic Zeta for a toon. Oh, I'm not sure. I think Ahsoka Tano needs a lot of work, like, original little, snips. Oh. I think that, I don't know. I love how I would love her to have synergy with Anakin, of course. And, maybe something around being sneaky or, kind of like going on a little rogue mission with him. Like maybe they could do some sort of like weird stealthy assist together or something like that. I think that'd be cool. I look at her all the time and I always want to use her. And she's just, I think if you want her right and you've got her at gear 12, she probably is nice and beastly, but mine's at 10 and she's staying there until she gets a little love.
What about anybody else? I heard someone else said that they had one.
I can think
Yeah,
of
this is for real. But what if you give Royal Guard a Zeta?
Oh.
Where Royal Guard must be attacked when Palpatine is present, or nobody can attack Palpatine while Royal Guard is still active.
I
period.
like that one.
That sounds overly op. Everybody knows your first target is.
That sounds like a game breaker for sure.
It definitely does.
Right now.
I've got one, to be honest.
I still feel like Palpatine's just so squishy. I took my Palpatine team out. I was struggling to win. I got RJT back in.
I'm on RJT, to be honest. I've toyed around with Sith, and like I said, I didn't like it. But a bit flimsy, aren't they?
Yeah, I was Zeta'd out. I was modded out. I couldn't get it done with that team anymore, so I took it out.
Yeah.
I believe with Sion, it's a lot better, to be honest. But I mean, we're digressing. I'm Zeta, just quickly. Mace, he needs Vapad. Mace Windu.
Oh, you beat me to it. I'll translate.
He needs Vapad,
Mike
and
says.
it'll be... Mace Windu needs a Zeta, he needs a rework, he needs Vapad, and it'll be something along the lines of all the opposition who've got so many buffs or so many debuffs or whatever, because the Vapad's supposed to feed off the dark side, isn't it? And back their energy back.
Kick the crap out of Sith or dark side. Period. That's just what he does.
Indefinitely.
He needs Vapad.
Mace
and
for
he
the
needs
Sith raid.
He needs another ability that's called Bad Mother Effer.
I've had enough of these.
Had enough of these mother effing Sith.
And his
It's
mother
the
effing...
Force, mother effer. Can you sense it? Can you feel it?
Oh my god. All right, next question from Varkesh. We'll go to Cubs, and then we're going to start going down the line. So, Fast and Furious, here we go. Varkesh has a question. Go to you, Cubs. Has anyone tried Jedi yet in Phase 1 of the Sith Raid? I was thinking Ayla Securely to try and stop defensive down or massive turn-based healing from Luminara or Barriss Lead. What do you think there, Cubs?
I have not tried Jedi in there, and I'm not optimistic that it would do well, to be honest. I think it's cool logic. Maybe I'll try it out, but I mean, I don't know. Has anybody really got anything to hum other than Raid Jedi Training and maybe Deathmark?
Well, you know what? I was thinking about this team. I'm going to try it today. Is Qui-Gon Jinn lead with the Jedi, because they get all that foresight, with Grandmaster Yoda and stuff, and Jedi Knight Anakin. One, they're characters that get buffs from the raid, and because of all the foresight, Sion can't hit them.
True.
And the offense might actually help them, right? Like for Qui-Gon, if he was modded properly, he's just so squishy still. I don't know how he is. Does anybody have him at gear 12?
That's my problem. He dies.
That's why you need the foresight. You get all the foresight, you keep it up. I mean, it doesn't matter what your skull level is on him. If he can't get hit, he can't get hit.
I wonder if they were with somebody like Daka. Some of those teams, I think they would do well. I just need someone to revive them.
Yeah.
I think you could get that team to work, and you could get up towards, in the heroic mode, maybe 500 to 900,000 damage. Speculating, yeah. I don't think it would do a ton.
The second and third tier teams, what other options, again, second and third tier, where you can get better damage than most is your defense penetration. So Sabine is quite good, with her armor shred.
Yes.
Obviously, Sith Assassin, he goes through armor, and so does Sith Trooper as well. Again, they're not massive scores, but they're better than most teams, better than most options.
Are we sure that Sabine's buff is stacking? Because it's supposed to stack and not be able to be removed, but it doesn't. There's no numbers there, and I cannot tell a difference. I've been really trying to figure it out and watch for numbers, and I can't see it. I think it's bugged.
I'm sure it's working.
You think it's
with
working?
Past track record? I'm sure it's working. I'm sure it's working as intended.
Yeah. Nothing to see here. Move along. All right, next question. We'll go to King Felix. This is from Michael Strand, STRNAD. Shnad. Oh, good lord. Michael. We'll just go with Michael. Question: what team cons are people coming up with Vis of Mars in their lineup? What about you, King Felix? What do you think? Oh, Vis of Mars. Did we lose King Felix? King? Bueller? All right, we'll go to Turbo. Turbo, what do you think of all this Mars lineups and stuff?
Ooh, personally, I've not got any experience, but a lot of people have been using the same teams that everybody else has and just putting Visas Mars in. Is Loki still there? I know he's got her. He'll be best to say this one. I think she goes in a lot of teams just because she's a healer, especially in the Sith raid, because she's a healer and she's getting all the assists, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
But in a Sith team, obviously she's good with whether it be Nihilus lead or I'm sure she'll work well on the Palpatine.
Well, you know, a team that I would love to try her out in is with Crew First Order lead team. Talk about the number. They are just assisting everywhere. My God in heaven. I mean, it's like someone does something, it's like 3 hits. Another thing, 3 hits. It's like, oh my God, what is this?
She does okay damage for a healer as well, though, doesn't she? Which is very surprising. But that actually worked. I'm tempted to pull the trigger on her, but I can't quite bring myself to do it. I was going to, a little on the fence with you at Minute Ranger.
I can't do it.
So she also has the defense penetration too, right? Oh. So you can stack her with Sabine and Death Trooper. There was one team we were playing around with. It was a Rebel Officer Leia lead with Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum and Sabine and Death Trooper and This Is Mar. So
I bet that did a lot of damage, but I bet it didn't last long.
No, I mean in the raid it actually wasn't too bad. It did what it did. If you're going for the 3 to 5% damage in heroic, it can get the job done. So something to play around with. But in arena right now, if your shard is like Palpatine super heavy Sith, she's a godsend. She just helps so much. I ran her with JTR. So I actually ran her with JTR. I got a video on my YouTube. I ran her with a JTR. I actually dropped R2, and then ran Poe and Holdo and Visas with BB-8. The idea with it is Poe does buff immunity on his AoE expose and taunt and all that. So if you get buff immunity on Sion or GK or something like that, that's it. I mean, you pretty much won the match because it's getting, the Sith don't cleanse themselves unless you run a Savage, but nobody runs Savage anyway. So she's really versatile. I mean, she gives a lot of teams that healer and reviver. I mean, she's a reviver, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine running her with a JTR squad and your the other side's like really trying to get your BB-8 down, they take it down, and she brings them back, right? And then that's it. So she's really versatile right now in the meta, in arena, and then she's really good in the Sith raid.
I want her more than Sion. I think that she's just so dynamic. I keep, I would be more likely to wail on her than on him at this point in time. Also, I'm mad at him because P2 took me like 3 hours to get like 4.1% last night, so he's not in my good books.
No.
I can just imagine you shouting at your phone, "Damn you, Sion!"
Yeah, even like with Night
you see that scene
like
from Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. There's T-Money, Sion, and you're across the
that's it. You're on my poo list now.
So if you run her with Night Sisters too, right? That defense penetration is just killer because Mother Talzin's AoE goes through protection, right? So if you land that defense penetration up and then Mother Talzin does her AoE through protection, you can one hit KO some tunes or get him down to red health because that AoE going through protection is going to hit harder with that defense penetration up.
Stop trying to get me to spend money on the game. I'm also mad at EA. Like in real life, I'm actually mad at them.
Nah, she's pretty good. You need the Zeta though. I mean, she needs the Zeta for that assist, the 60%. It's a big deal.
I've gear 12 and stuck the health thing on her, and I'm struggling still to find
the med pack.
I'm still struggling to find a squad that I'm happy with.
For what? For arena or for Sith raid?
Both. Maybe we'll chat after.
Yeah. Loki knows.
I mean, right now, she. So without the Zeta, I could get in phase 1 with JTR. So I use her. I use JTR, BB-8, R2, Resistance Trooper, and Vissa's Mar. So without the Zeta, I can get like 5 mil in heroic. So with the Zeta, the damage goes up. I have like guildies doing like 8 million with her. So I think that's why they're going to nerf Expose too. So that damage is probably going to drop maybe to half or something like that. So she's going to be really useful after the nerf to Expose, I think. Yeah. So you can reach your 5% or whatever you're getting.
All right.
In phase 1.
Next question for Mike. This is from member Tauntauns. Says question.
Oh, by the way, I'm back.
Okay, glad. Okay. Member Tauntauns question. I'm having trouble with the Sion team. When my Vader goes first, it gives the enemy Darth Nihilus turn meter, making him do Drain Force next. Then my Vader can't do Cullen Blade, and my team's cooldowns are increased, making it harder to win. Darth Nihilus gains turn meter when you crit Sion. So he's having problems with this. What do you think there, old Mike?
I didn't get on the bandwagon with turboing my Vader. My Vader's probably the slowest on my shard, arena shard. So for me, I just went the Han route. I find that works quite well. Otherwise, you're just going to have to rejig everything, and it depends then. Well, if you've got the patience to do that. It's studying your opposition and finding that they're like 1 speed faster than you on every turn or something, and rejigging and just tuning your squad to go the way that you want it to go. The Han one works really well though. Stun Vader, fracture either the tank or Tarkin if he's there. Then your Vader will have his AoE, Cullen Blade, match 1.
There's another way that can work as well with TIE Fighter Pilot. So if your TIE Fighter Pilot is faster than their Nihilus, regardless of the turn meter gain, he'll still go before him. Because
and use the AoE ability block.
Yeah,
that's an option.
I took out Sith Trooper for TIE Fighter Pilot, so I'm running Palp, Vader, Sion, TIE Fighter Pilot, and Nihilus, and I haven't even come close to losing a character, let alone a battle.
I've run that squad without Sion, so no tanks. I did the same, swapped out the tank for the TIE Fighter Pilot, and it's very good on offense. If it's just for climbing, it's very good, even with no tank.
All right.
I fought a team in Territory Wars where the TIE Fighter Pilot went first, and it was very difficult. It was like TIE Fighter Pilot followed by Vader, and then like tons more buffs to remove, and it's tricky. You have the mods for it.
Absolutely. All right, next question from Zyla Takedown. This is for Cubs specifically. He says, question for Cubs. What is EA looking for in game changers other than in-game content and video editing?
That's a good question. I think a lot of people maybe don't understand the relationship we have with CG. And it's not as they are not involved hardly at all in what we say and what our content is. So I think a lot of people think they give us, stuff to make a video on, and they say, you have to say this and you have to say this. There's none of that. And I'm going to say exactly what I freaking want to about characters, because I want to give you guys an accurate assessment of them. Now, what's been a bit tricky, and this is feedback that I've given as well, is a lot of times we get very limited information when we reveal a character, and so you've got every game changer basically making the same video. And when we get videos like that, I'm personally just kind of getting on there saying, this is what it looks like. This is what the kit details are. Don't buy this character yet because I don't know how they work. So give us a bit to get it in the test accounts, and then we'll test it out for sure and go from there. I hope that changes at some point so that we can have a little more accurate information out the gate and have a better feel for how they work. But for now, that's just kind of how it is. So that's pretty much it. I mean, they give us a test account so that we can test things out. It's good advertising for them. I think they get a good deal out of it because we're promoting their game. And for us, we get more resources to promote our channels and have good content. So yeah, that's kind of, I don't know if that hits on that question or if any of you guys have follow-up questions about how that works, but it's not, they definitely are not. I've never once had a dev come to me and say, hey, you should have said this differently, or what's this about? I'm sure if I ripped on their game like really bad, I'm sure I'd get a PM or something like, hey, let's talk about this.
No, I do it all the time. No, it doesn't work.
Yeah. But I've never been told what to say, ever.
Interesting. I like
I have a question. Sorry.
What is going on with you two, man? Are you having allergies? What's going on?
You've never. I'm not a morning person.
Well,
I got up at 7 o'clock in the morning, Ranger.
Yeah, and we get up early too.
I'm your Saturday night lady.
Well,
mornings are tough. I'm just curious, Cubs. If everybody has a test account and and do you have access to that from like your own devices, or is that something that you have to wait until you go for a visit to them? I was curious how that works with regards to testing new teams and such.
So
probably breaking up a little bit there.
CG.
They don't want you to know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yes.
Am I gone?
No, you're there.
Oh, good gosh, this freaking internet. I actually had CenturyLink come out like 2 weeks ago. I was ready to get it, and they told me that I had to wait like a month for a contractor to come out to fix something. So I'm salty about this. But anyway, the test accounts are in the live game, and so when I got a test account, it was shortly after I joined the Game Changers program, and basically I just created an alt account. Like a lot of you probably have 2 accounts, maybe you don't. But if you create a second account, you just need, like on Apple, I just needed a second Apple ID, and I log in and out of different Apple IDs so that my Game Center will pick up a different account. And it's in the live game. I started an account. The only difference is that CG just goes into this account. They take it out of the public servers and they put it on a QA server that's in the live game, but it's kind of separate from everything, so it doesn't influence anything in the game except for .gg accounts, which I know we got in trouble for. And then they just pump us full of whatever we need, pretty much. We've got. I'm actually doing some tests right now. I'm going to make a video after I'm out here. I've got 21 million crystals, but the thing is, it sounds really cool, and it is. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty cool. Especially at first, I was like, "Oh, baby, this is where it's at." But it's different. It feels like a test account to me because I don't have the guild environment. I don't have an incentive to do any event in there. I don't have an incentive to do any raids. I don't. It's purely just I can go around and see how these characters work, make videos on them, and that's it. But it's in the live game. I still feel like, though, like, for example, if you guys watch my anti-meta series, when I test accounts, the ideal way to do it is in not the test account, in my opinion. Now, when I can't do it any other way, I'll do it in the test account. But the test account is like this la-la land. It's like this idealistic, world where you've got everything maxed out, and everyone else you're playing against has the same thing. So even though it's in the live game, it's not necessarily the best way to test that out, if that makes sense. So I love the anti-meta series because it's all organic. It's these guys that are actually running these in actual shards, and these teams are actually working there. So I always kind of give that disclaimer, like, this is on the test account. It works here, but it's still not, I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Lots of us had access to the test accounts during Territory Wars beta. And for those who didn't, the mod shop actually has a cap on refreshes. I lost a week of my life to just I'm like, mods, it's so amazing. And you can do, but it's also wonderful that you can go in and test characters and try them out. So that's good. And thank you for telling people that it's I have all the Gear 12 pieces on this, and also
Yeah.
130 speed.
It doesn't matter how many times, whenever I do a test account video, it doesn't matter how, I could put it on the screen in neon flashing letters. This is a test account. I'm always going to have somebody in the comments saying, how do you have 22 million crystals? I don't, nobody could have that much money. Come on.
Oh, yes, they do.
I don't know,
His name
22
is
million.
Loki.
It's $100 for what? 15,000 crystals?
Oh, Loki wins that on a weekend in Vegas.
Let's do the math. How much is that? To 22 million crystals.
Oh, look, we don't do math on this show. Damn it, Cubs.
I don't either. Somebody else.
Somebody else
maybe
figure it out.
I think Finn could do it.
Yeah,
Finn
Finn, Dr. Finn, get on it. Damn it, you're a doctor.
I think it's like $20,000.
Yeah.
That's when I had my beta test account, I spent $10,000 in a week, the equivalent of $10,000 in a week, and I was still short on Carbontes. I did not get any plus 20 rolls. Like it was a little bit sobering for me, and now I do spend money on the game, and so now I have that contextually. I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy this whatever, and I know that the odds that it's going to roll are very slight, and I'm still doing it. What's up with that?
The cost to get 22 million crystals is buying 1,400 bolts, so it's 140,000.
Oh wow! An order of magnitude.
Okay, so I guess it is possible.
Okay, that's science.
Damn, I'm rich.
You're rich, bitch.
I spent $200,000 on this game.
All right. All right. Next question. We'll go to T Money. And this question is from Young Guns 8834. Question: do you guys think we will have to wait until episode 9 for first order tunes like Hux or Praetorian Guard?
I'm so disappointed that we don't have Praetorian Guard yet. Snoke, I'm glad. Who is this guy? We need so much more information about him. I'm glad that they did not release Snoke, but
they could have released half of him.
They could have released half of him, indeed. And I guess saying that, it makes sense that they're not going to release Praetorian Guard. Hux, I'm not that interested in him. There's that one scene where he's yelling, and the rest he's just kind of a doofus. So, I don't know what he's gonna do. Yell at the other team and intimidate them, and then they're gonna do an overhead strike and screw them right over. I'm not sure, but I'm not interested in Hux.
Maybe he'll have a really sarcastic conversation with Poe. It feels really weird.
Poe will get a new ability that's talk to Hux and
prank call.
Holding for Cubs. Can I speak to Admiral Cubs?
Do you reckon we'll get Thrawn's pet from Rebels? The tracker.
To get what now?
Thrawn's pet.
Oh my goodness,
the
that
tracker.
would be wonderful.
I don't know.
Rock, I think it was.
I'm sad we haven't had more Rebels characters in the last couple of weeks, given
the
this excitement.
Inquisitors.
Very sad. Very sad. Really on their part.
You put all the Inquisitors in the game. That's more dark side. First Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor, fifth brother, seventh sister. Come on, man.
I don't know. I know you guys love KOTOR, but I didn't play it. I think these characters are cool, but I don't have that love for them.
Right,
I do
I'm gonna start
for
playing
Rebels.
KOTOR, and
I know.
you'll join me. T Money. We'll do
I would
together.
love to. I do want to go through. that story.
I'm gonna just basically tell you to do the wrong things, just so you die a lot, and be like, "Oh, I don't know what happened."
Check.
All right, next question. Let's go down here for Loki. This is from Nathaniel Morgan. So, is tenacity for Visas so she will always resist? Loki? You're getting a lot of Visa more questions, man.
She's kind of like the diamond in the rough, man.
Diamond in the rough.
I don't know. I don't know if tenacity is working as intended. I mean, you can load her all up with tenacity, but everybody has that 15% or whatever potency baked in or whatever. So you can try it. I've tried it with GK. I've tried it with Holdo. I've tried it with other tanks. I mean, you can bump it over 100%, but it just seems like, especially against Palpatine teams, they get the 35% potency off the bat. So you're basically throwing tenacity on her to combat that extra 35 that Palpatine gets off the bat, and Visa still gets stunned. She gets shocked. She's whether she has high tenacity or not. So, but every shard is different. My arena shard it's all Palpatine right now. So the team I'm running, it works great against it. I kept her in there, but I monitor, again, all protection primaries, speed arrow, and then just speed set with speed secondaries and all that. So that's
All right.
That's how she works on my shard.
There you go. All right, now Cubs has to head out, so we're going to give Cubs a big shout out for being on. Hopefully we can have him on more and more, which is up to you guys in the chat to bother him, say, you going to be in Jedi Academy? How about now? But let's let Cubs pimp his stuff real quick so he can get out. Is he there? Did we lose him?
Hey, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and pimp your stuff, man. I know you got to go.
Oh yeah, no, I got another like 15 minutes.
Oh well, then.
But
well, let me know when you gotta go. Just speak up, and then we'll let you do it then.
I've got a busy life, but man, I wish if I could in an idealistic world, I'd get like a time turner or something from Harry Potter, and I would be on this stream every time. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all of it. Whenever you guys go. Yeah. I love your stuff.
That's right. So, all right. So, for 15 minutes, let me make a mark. So, 11 o'clock, we'll let you pimp your stuff then. I just want to make sure we get the people know where you're at and that kind of stuff. So, okay.
They're going to have to wait. 15-minute wait for me to pimp my stuff.
That's
Get
right.
ready.
Stay tuned.
Here it comes.
Stay tuned. All right.
You're giving CG more time to disconnect your Wi-Fi again.
Oh my god!
I'm sure he's getting a talking to in the back there.
They know where I live.
The suits are behind. God's going.
He's gonna say something. Mess with his Wi-Fi.
Oh, I'm
Black
sorry.
sedan just pulled up in front of his house.
All right. Next question for King Felix. This is from Devil's Treasure. Question: what effective squads have you guys found in Phase 2 of the Sith raid so far?
JTR, Visas Mar. Other than that, it seems to be more quantity over quality that I've discovered, because even so if you have a maxed out JTR team, you can get a few million. I think what was Loki saying? Got like 5 or 6, 8 with Visas. But other than that, it's just getting your entire guild to do as much as possible. So it goes back to the 2% rule. And if every person in your guild does the 2%, whether that's throwing in, half-baked JTR teams, and that's what I did because mine's not Zeta. And then I threw in a couple of more trash teams just to get my 2%, and then I moved on to Phase 3. But unless you got some people with the maxed out JTRs or people who weld that on Visas, there's nothing. There's no golden team right now. And then again, next week it's all going to change. So stay tuned.
I did my 5% with my JTR. I think it's 5.5 that I did with my JTR squad, which leaves that I'll use troopers for Phase 3. I still got my Colorado and Mass team I can use too for a phase. So I'm trying to think of who I use for Phase 1.
I'll throw a couple of teams in there.
Sure.
You can play around with, but the Dark Lords Guild we were using, there was you could try First Order. So the crew lead in Phase 2 heroic does pretty well. I mean, outside of a JTR team, your target's kind of like maybe it's like 2% or something like that. So it's right at about $1 million. So if you got like 700,000 to $1 million, that's a successful team, I think, in heroic. So just scale that back or down or however you want to do it for tier 6, tier 5. But you can try the crew First Order, the one I mentioned with First Order Executioner, and then let the debuff max out on First Order Executioner, so he has all the offense. And he hits Sion for 40k or something like that if you got him maxed out with crit damage and all that. Special forces, keep calling him in and spam that as much as you can. You can actually throw Phasma in there. So the trick with the First Order, right, is you got to have everybody. You have to buff everybody so they heal. That's the trick. So First Order Stormtrooper does defense up on everybody when he taunts, and then Phasma does 2 buffs, I believe, advantage and something else, and then First Order Officer works pretty good too because he does tenacity up and he can get First Order Executioner 100% turn meter the whole time. Even regular Kylo gives 30% turn meter, I think, with his AOE, so you can spam that and just keep them going. Other teams, anything with a healing leader. So try Nihilus lead Sith that with Sith Trooper. That works pretty good because it survives all the way. You can probably get like, I don't know, 500 to 700,000 with that team. And then surprisingly, Phoenix. If you got a maxed out Phoenix, they're actually pretty damn good in that phase. You'll get another 1 million or something with Phoenix. And then a couple of my guys had the Golden Murder Bears. They get about 1 million if they're Zeta'd up and Omega.
Who would Zeta Chirpa though? Come on.
I know. I did.
Have you tried Lumi yet, Loki?
I'm sorry?
Have you tried Lumi yet? Lumi lead.
I'm trying, man. We got her, right? No.
I think we're the only two in the game.
Probably.
You guys did Zeta her?
Yes.
We did, man. We had a theorycraft session one day, and we said, you know what, fuck, I'm gonna do it, you know. But
it was with Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum. We were trying to get as many green.
Yeah, and then that's when that's when they nerfed her and said, oh, it's got to be unique buffs. Like, oh, come on.
Like, come on, man.
All they gotta do is remove that restriction, and she's good, you know. But I don't know. There might be something there. She is a healer. She gets the event buff. So I'm gonna play around with more teams, but again, going back to the question, any team where the leader heals is going to be your best bet. So Zeta Jin might work. I think Mike said Gar Saxon. I think Krennic heals. Thrawn lead heals. Anything like that you can go to Enrage and do like 1 to 2% in phase 2. That'd be the goal.
All right, let's go to the next question. Next question for Turbs. This is from Hans Omar von Harold Duarte. Question, how will they keep the mods on credits like that or go back to spending crystals? I feel that the mod store has a better utility right now on only creds.
I'm with you. Yeah, I think everybody prefers it being credits, but again, you always think at the back of your mind they're trying to get us to spend for a level cap increase, aren't they? Or new content. I think they've done the research, haven't they, and seen the amount of people who've got all this XX chip currency. I think I had 100 million. I'm down to about 15 now after buying loads of But and again, loads of people have loads of credits and not necessarily much to spend on because they can only release characters so fast and such. Yeah, it's definitely better. I think they have said. Well, they've clearly said that it's for a limited time. I think they will revert back to it, especially when they do finally drop 7-star mods, because you're not going to get, 6-star mods. You're not going to get the next mod sets for just credits, are you? Not in the store anyway. I hope so. I doubt it. So I would get as many mods as you can while you can, especially if you don't.
Hey, Turbs, how much do you think it's going to be to level a 7-star mod to a level 15?
Oh my god!
It's going to be like 5 million or something like that.
It's going to be at least double. What is it? Around about 500k now, is it?
Yeah, at least
it's going to be at least. It's going to be at least double. It's going to be at least double.
Awful. That's going to be.
I hope they never bring that.
Should we be? Yeah, that's the part for me. It's like, should we be buying and investing in mods when there's this talk of 7-dot mods? It's
absolutely.
Yes,
I know.
You still have to do it. You're waiting for a ship that's like not even coming yet. So it's. Here's the thing, right? Your 4-dot mod, you can get 22 speed, 23 speed on a 4-dot mod. So I mean, how much more speed do you need on this? Maybe the 7-star goes to 35, max. But that's assuming it's going to roll in the same spot every single time.
I imagine the arrows will be the most valuable thing to begin with. Speed
maybe
arrows,
they'll go to
actually do it that way.
or something, or 40, But
yeah.
And I'm with Loki. I've got some really good 4-dot mods, providing it's not a protection mod, because that seems to be the worst drop between the 5-star and the 4-star, because you go from 36% to, is it like 25, 24%? That's the biggest drop. Yeah. The rest of them, the defense. And even the triangles, like the crit damage and the crit chance, even them at 4-dot are still good stats. So if you can get a really high secondary speed on there, stick it on a character. Especially if it's in the 19s and the 20s, don't be scared of using a 4-dot mod.
And it's cheap to roll them too, right? Yes, you're not spending 500k to roll them to 12. It's like 70 to 12 to level 12 or something.
Right.
If you see one that catches your eye, buy it. It's worth the roll. It is worth the roll.
I picked up a 5-dot gold health triangle with protection as the main stat. And I geared it earlier, and speed turned 4 times. It is now officially my fastest.
Showing off.
We just wanted to throw that out there.
No, I was saying to my... It's the... You have to kiss a lot of frogs. You really do. You'll level up like 100 mods, and then one will finally do what you actually hoped the other 99 would.
See, this is a funny discussion in connection to the test accounts too, because I can pretty much go ham on mods every day on that test account, and I'll have days where I motivate. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna find a freaking good mod right now, and I'll spend like an hour just dumping resources into mods, and I get nothing. It's the most frustrating part of the game, in my opinion. But also the feeling of upgrading a mod that goes for 17 plus speed secondary. That's a good feeling.
The one that annoys me is that you have to have a minimum 5 toons at a certain star level or whatever to do the challenges, and they still reward you with 3 dot mods.
I know, that doesn't make sense.
It's like, what?
And blue ones, I don't know. I don't roll blue ones anymore unless it's, maybe like a high offense secondary or something like that. I'm not rolling a blue one. Speed, I guess, but I've been really working on my speed, not my speed secondaries, of course, speed secondaries, but my offense secondaries. And I rolled 157 on a square a couple days ago. Yeah, nice. It's a defense square, but I thought maybe Sith Trooper, because he has really high offense, right? I just got him up to 10.
Oh, Sith Trooper's I don't know, is he still he was my 3rd highest offensive toon.
He should be just after Old Ben and maybe 5s.
Physical damage. Yeah, he's still 3rd. Crew, after Luke, and then 5s. Sith Trooper, then Wampa, then Kylo Ren, First Order TIE, Ahsoka. I mean, you just look at who's there, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
And he's
it's really unusual, and he hits for you. I remember you talking about that on one of the RSG streams. He hits really hard for you too, eh?
Okay.
Yeah, love him.
All right, next question. Let's go to Mike, Mr. Show Off. Bob H. Bob has a question. What would you guys say is the best arena team right now? What do you think there, Mike?
The best arena team.
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
They're all good and they're all not good.
I think that's the news.
For me, it's Rex Lead, Old Ben, Mother Talzin, Thrawn, and Wampa. Just because it's so much fun to play.
All right, someone in the background is going weave.
It's a
Sorry, that was me.
I
just got a good mod.
Again.
He's got a good mod.
10 speed secondary.
Whee!
It's my youngest playing on his tablet.
It's like, Dad, I got a 12 dot mod. Whee! They give it to me. No, it's mine. All right, so let's get into the top of the hour. We're gonna give this the last question here. There's more questions, but this question to Cubs. Let me see here. Let's go from Xylo Takedown Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Question, Cubs. Would you guys like to see a mass tune released? I really think we don't have enough tunes in game to beat the Sith raid.
A mass tune release, just release a bunch at the same time,
like 20 tunes, all dark side.
No, I don't want to see a lot of new tunes come to the game overnight. I do want to see characters come that are tuned for the raid, but here's kind of my hesitation with that. I look at everything from a free to play standpoint, and they release a character marquee 9 out of 10 times. And so when a marquee character comes out that's really good for the raid, on a personal level, I don't care if they're good for the raid. I'm not going to have them viable at 7 stars to do raids for like 3-4 months. And so me personally, I don't care if they release good characters for the raid. People who spend money on those characters might. And so that's great for them. But for me, I don't, this is what I got to work with right now. So I'd rather, me personally, my hope with the raid is in particular on finding more use in the raid for teams other than Raid Jedi Training or Deathmark, or I guess Ewoks, which I mean, no offense to those little murder bears, even though I've got a Zeta Chirpa, much to my dismay. I don't know if you guys saw that video, but it was against my will. Mm-hmm. I do not want to gear those Ewoks. What I want to see is if we're going to tweak Expose, I would really like to see some things tweaked as well for other teams to pave some kind of viability for them. Like, for example, this tenacity mechanic really kind of stifles a lot of debuff heavy teams like Sith teams, etc. It makes it harder for them to get rolling. And so I would much prefer that things are tweaked that give some meaningful damage from other teams that we already have than just throwing 20 marquee characters at us that I'm not going to be able to have ready for the raid for 3-4 months. So that's how I feel about it. Plus, if they release 20 characters, that would feel a lot like a cash grab to me. If they did that and gave them use in the raid, and they know that it would look like a cash grab, and we'd all just get more pissed at them. So that's how I feel.
They need to do that with ships, though.
Well, yeah,
we're hurting on ships.
Yeah. You can smell the ships coming. The ships have got to be coming, especially
I
with
won't
this,
disagree that
35 ships per region.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got all the ships unlocked, and pretty much I'm almost done. I've got the hard node ones to finish up, but I mean, the rest are like 7 stars, and it's like I'm in a position for the territory wars. I'm like, okay, I can throw a fleet on defense, but I always use the Republic fleet. I'm like, it's done, it's ready to go, it's good on defense. But even then, it's like, godly. I can imagine if you didn't have all the ships unlocked, what you're just trying to deal with, doing territory wars and stuff with that stuff. I mean, that would be a nightmare. Ugh.
It's not just that. The fleet's getting boring as well, isn't it? It's the same thing every day. If it wasn't for the crystals, I wouldn't even bother with fleet.
I know. I do my 5 battles. I don't even in arena now. It's kind of bad too because it's the same thing. So it's kind of like I just do my 5 battles. I was finishing in the top 5, but some days if it's my rotation, take one, I'll go take one. But most of the time it's like top 10. I don't care. Same thing with ships. Top 10. I don't care.
I do my fleet just to see how hard TIE Slicer can hit.
There you go.
There you go.
I
had to get it in before you went.
This guy gets it.
Yeah.
This guy gets it.
Yeah, that ship is amazing. God,
he's still in my main lineup.
Hey,
I switched him out for a bit, and he's back in.
He's a beast. Stun.
Yeah. Did you say TIE? Are you talking about the silencer?
Yeah, it's the
no, it's the slicer.
Okay, just because he's so hard hitting, I just maxed mine and I just put him in.
That's the reason why we call it the slicer. I don't get you to.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's not why.
No, it was meant to be the slicer. It's a typo in game. They still haven't fixed it.
Oh, really? I haven't even noticed.
I'll fill you in for everyone who's confused about this. When I revealed this TIE slicer in a video, I was calling it the TIE slicer the whole time for real and missed that it was actually the TIE silencer. But now I've realized since that it was actually the slicer all along. So you just sit up.
That's science.
This is what I'm here to preach.
That's right.
And it looks cool.
In game. That just, I don't know. That it just shocks me when there's things like typos. I mean, it's not like they're writing a book. It's what I do for a living. I'm a writer and an editor. There's literally 200 words at the very most in the character descriptions, and you have to spell it right. I mean, come on, what's going on?
Well, remember when they had Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber is blue in that one?
Yeah.
I think you'll find that their quality control budget went on bar bills or something.
Yeah, I wonder how that all works.
Okay.
ISQs.
All right.
Dumb and Dumb.
All right. Cubs, can you still stick around, or?
I'm going to head out.
All right.
I wish I could stay forever. You guys do great stuff. Appreciate you.
Yeah, well, we'll go ahead and pimp your stuff, man. Where can folks check you out?
So, I have a little YouTube channel, and you can check it out if you want. I do Galaxy Heroes guides and Han Shot First. I don't know what else to say. What do you want me to say?
Top 15. You've got a Discord.
Oh, that's true. I've got some of my series.
How the hell am
I got
I pimping your stuff better than
list.
you're pimping it? God damn, man. Come on.
I don't know. I guess I'm not a salesman.
No, Lord.
I'm a snake oil salesman. Come sit in my office and let's talk about Cubs and Han's channel. Yeah, I got a top 15 list every month. This is actually probably my favorite thing that I do is the top 15 list, just because I'm a big college football fan. I love having when it's college football season, we got that AP top 25 once a week, and so once a month I do a top 15 list where I've got a group of pollsters that vote on it. Very reputable, knowledgeable guys and girls that vote on that list, and we've done some fun things with it. And then I also have an anti-meta series, bag of questions, a couple other things that I do. So
check it out.
Love Galaxy Heroes. Check it out.
Absolutely. So go to his channel. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Support him. He does some amazing stuff. So thank you for being on, Cubs. We really appreciate you, brah.
Thanks for having me.
All right, man.
Cheers, dude.
All right, let's go to the next question. This is from Tron Tackler. We're going to Team Money G on this. Question. Who's excited for the next live-action Star Wars series? Tentatively named Star Wars, the Carbanti Wars. Is this a real question, or is this tongue?
There is actually a new Star Wars live-action series coming out that's going to launch a Disney like a channel that's, or a platform that's analogous to Netflix, but from Disney. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but it's kind of got me shocked because I use a Cody box. I don't have a subscription. I think I maybe have a subscription to Netflix, but I'm gonna have to get a subscription to this, and doesn't matter how much it costs. It's a little bit it's a little bit scary.
Yeah, the Carbanti Wars part is a little bit of a joke, but it's
actually a thing.
Yeah, but there is a live action Star Wars TV show that's coming in, and I believe it's Jon Favreau that they're getting in order to.
I just wanted to hear T Money's reaction. I knew all this. I just wanted to hear what she had to say. Favreau. No, I hope it's the Old Republic TV show. Oh, the Old Republic TV show. It's exciting though, right? We got a good stuff. I don't know what Dave Filoni's up to, but I can't wait to see what he's going to do, especially after the way Rebels ended. Oh my god. So much good stuff. All right, next question. Let's see. Sir Loki. This is from Kinski. What's your CLS takedown team in Territory War?
GK Zeris.
Yep.
Nihilus, GK Zeris, Boba.
Yep.
Ewoks.
How dare you?
If you got a maxed out Phoenix team, you can actually throw them in and see what they do. I've had good luck with them. Yeah. Crew first order. If you keep them on offense, just wreck that team. They wreck the CLS chase team. Anything with Wampa, yeah, Rex Wampa. My vision of actually Territory Wars, the CLS is coming down. I mean, there's too many counters to them already. You want the team to not go 1-for-1.
I'd get 4 or 5 defensive with the team you told me to do, which is CLS, OG Han, Ahsoka, Old Ben, and Captain Han Solo. That team gets me some defensive banners, man. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking ahead. I mean, with new tunes coming out and stuff,
yeah, it'll change. Everything changes.
I could totally see CLS actually coming down, and then getting replaced by like Palpatines or something else. But yeah, a lot of counters for CLS. Hopefully, one of those works for you. But
I like
get Wampa. Everybody in your guild should unlock Wampa at 5 stars, and that's it. That's like all you need right there. You take down that whole Rebel team in like a minute, if that.
Wampa with who?
I go Rex Wampa, and then you can throw like trash tanks behind him. Because all you gotta do is Yeah, you daze them, and then you can one hit KO Han and Chirrut, and yeah, you probably throw Sunfac in that team. I mean, I'm seriously like scraping the bottom of the roster list, but you don't need much. I think Wampa's pretty badass the way he is.
Throw an IPD in there as well.
Yeah.
IPD is
take one of the mains out.
Oh yeah.
And that doesn't have to be geared that much.
No, I mean if you have a Zeta IPD, you can shut down that. You shut down that CLS team, no problem.
All right.
All
right, next question for King Felix. And how much is this from Ugnati? Question: how much damage is 2% in the heroic raid for all phases?
I think it's right around like 1.2 million, I believe. But again, they're talking next week. They're gonna slightly change the health. I think they said.
Yeah.
So that might change. It might be less. It might be only like 800,000, or it might be 1.19 million. You never know. With slightly, but I think it's right about 1.2 right now is a safe percentage, a safe total.
All right. Next question for Turbs. This is from DB, and the question is: I know some guilds completed heroic Sith. Do we know how guilds gauge if our guild is ready? How would a guild gauge that, Turbo?
How would you gauge if you're ready? Well, first of all, you need to be able to complete tier 6. First of all, it's hard. I'm in the unlucky position of always been in a good position in a high performing guild, but it's having the 4 or 5 teams, isn't it? Because the big difference between a T6 and obviously a heroic is you don't get any refreshes. You don't get any roster refreshes. Mm-hmm. So you can only use a team once. There's the 2-day limit as well. You need to... I'm liking the Sith raid, to be honest, because it's a lot more emphasis on you need everybody to pull together, and if you're not having at least 40, 45 players going to be hitting this raid, then you're just not going to finish it, regardless of how many 3.5, 4 million GP people you've got. If you're not getting enough people playing it, then you're not going to finish it. But you need to have the teams that everybody's been talking about today, not necessarily the Siths, but you need to have at least, 30 JTRs, I'd say. Because if you've not got JTR, well, we'll see what happens with Nerf, to be honest. But if you've not got the JTRs, then you're not going to clear phase 1, you're not going to clear phase 2. You need to have some Kylo Ren Zetas. It's going to be hard to gauge. To be honest, if you put a message in the chat and you want me to have a look at your guild on GG, I can give you some tips and some pointers. It's a very broad question without knowing whereabouts you are, but it's hard to gauge. More often than not, just give it a try. You're not losing anything by giving it a whirl, but the key to it is get as many people in your guild playing. You have to have all 50 of you giving it a good go, otherwise if there's not enough people of you even putting the effort in, then there's no point even trying, is there really?
Well said.
I'll throw something out. If you can clear tier 6 in like no refreshes or 1 refresh, you could be ready for heroic. So gauge it that way. If it's taking you like 4 refreshes to clear tier 6, then you obviously don't have enough firepower to get it done. And then as Turbo said, you need... I mean, the way it's set up right now, I agree with you. I think it's kind of lopsided to JTR, but the horrible reality with the whole thing is you need JTR to carry you to phase 3, and that's it. And then from phase 3, we found out as a guild you need like 50 trooper teams, and then you got to pull all your weight, so it's like 3% or something, 2 to 3%, and you can take down phase 3, and then phase 4 you throw all the rosters, everything at it. But the main thing is you need so many JTR teams alone. So Jedi Training Ray, BB-8, R2D2, Resistance Trooper, and then the 5th could be Scavenger Ray or something like that, right? To carry you to phase 3. Unfortunately, that's the most efficient way to do it, so you can save all the teams for phase 4, and then you coordinate as a guild to take down phase 3 together with a trooper team. That's that's unfortunately the most efficient way to do it, but it's going to change, right? So
I think what you're saying is you need all the meta characters. If you check out Cubs fan hand stuff, and if you check out the top 15 characters, you need a guild full of everybody who's got them top 15 characters, basically, because they're all the meta teams, aren't they? I know it sounds like a lot, but you do need a lot of Zetas. You need Imperial troopers. Like I said, there's a few teams that you need at least 40 off to get you over the line.
At least troopers, though. Everybody should be farming troopers for dark side territory battle, right? So it's not a one-sided team. JTR is JTR. I mean, JTR was a freebie, right? They gave her away during the journey. But you do have to have BB-8. You do have to have R2. And then
you said she was a freebie. You still had to get the vets to 7-star, which are useless.
Yeah.
If I can jump in, I think our guild's right at the low. Too. Sorry, I think our guild's right at the lower end of who can complete. So we're about 144 million GP. I think you could probably do it. GP, so it can be so inflated. You're not going to be throwing Gear 8 characters in there. So if you've got a bunch of those. But I think, if you're 135 GP, you've got to really have the right teams. Right now we're going in with 44 Ray, and it's been a bit of a slog. It's difficult. I have my Scavenger Ray at gear 11 and BB-8 at gear 11, and then I brought in Barris actually at gear 12. That's how I ended up doing it. And you have to really learn the mechanics of the thing. So watch videos. You need to stack the debuff on your most damage dealing tunes. Like it took me hours to get my, I don't even think we needed to get 4.3. I think I got 4.1, and I was like, someone says, I got 5, you can have my other percentage. And I was like, okay,
that's cheating.
It's totally cheating. And then you really, so that's P1, P2. And then, so you're just counting teams, just like Hat, how many rebel teams do we have? How many this? How many that? So you're going through, and they have to be good Ray teams, right? If they're gear 12 Ray teams, you're going to get 5.5% even maybe. But if they're, if they don't have the bayonets on them, if they don't have the little health steal pieces on them, those make a big difference. So I try it with 30, but you got to have some really good PvE people that are going to carry you through.
Good communication as well. Another really, really good tip, flight mode is your friend. It's trial and error and keep trying to get that 5%, but turn your flight mode on because if you ever get killed, flight mode, it means you can just restart your app and you don't end up posting a silly score by accident. That's what we do anyway.
All right.
That's what we do.
Next question from Xylo Takedown Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Oh, it's a question for me. Question for Ranger. What First Order team crew lead would you use without Xylo? Oh, I've got this team ready in my head. It's crew with the Zetas, Executioner, Special Forces TIE Fighter, Stormtrooper, and First Order Officer. That team, I think, will be dynamite. I know Luke already has it, so I'm sure he can tell me how dynamite it is.
It's good, man. It's really good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's dynamite.
No. Do you get that show over? Do you get good times over in the island where you're at?
This little island.
I would have thought you only had Blackadder reruns on your TV. That's a Mr. Bean on there.
We have it, but it's like most of these American shows that they just show it at 3 o'clock in the morning because nobody's interested.
Oh my god.
Hey, when you watch the American shows, do they dub them with British accents? I always wondered that.
No, they don't.
That'd be great.
Do they do the same for all the awesome British shows that you get as well?
What awesome?
I'm trying to imagine Mary Poppins with American accent.
Oh god. All right, we're moving on. Next question for Loki from Captain Blackbeard. Question for Loki: has anyone in Dark Lords tested a Zeta Captain Han Solo? Seems like it could be useful.
Zeta Captain Han Solo. What does he do again? It's something with health, right?
You have everything, Loki. You tell us.
No, I didn't Zeta Captain Han Solo. No, unfortunately, we haven't tested it. I'm really intrigued by the Death Mark Rebel Officer Leia, though. So I'm gonna when we launch I think we're launching another heroic today, so I'm gonna try it. Get a bunch of multi hits, and then you. I think in the heroic you get like 20k on the death mark, so I'm gonna get like 10 plus hits, so it should be fun.
There you go.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And I think Thrawn gets 5 hits. So it's basically you make a team with all the multi-hit characters and see what they can do.
All right. Next question for Mike. This is from Ignati question. How do you mod Kylo Ren Unmasked, Mike? I know how I have them, but how do you have yours?
Protection and speed.
Yeah, or health.
I think.
I went health, protection, speed.
Health, protection, speed. Yeah. It's the age-old. Whichever mods have the best secondary speed.
Because if you've got a Zeta, you're gonna get that extra speed, and I mean, that team, they all get it. So, it's delicious.
Yes, I love Death Panda as well.
Yeah, someday I'll have him when he becomes farmable, because I ain't spending a dime.
It's just, he's beast. Mind you.
He's due soon, isn't it? Farmable? With the cadence?
He's in the shop already.
But I'm not spending crystals. It's like...
Oh, I'm saying he'll be due going onto an Ord.
Yeah.
I would have thought.
If he does,
I'm like that with Spirit and Rose. Nah, I'll wait.
We'll get it. All right, and then I think this is the last question. This is from Lucas Portulo. I don't know. Call you Lucas. This is going to go to T-Money. And he wants, or they want to know, is the Palpatine unique Zeta any good? He already has the lead.
I'm gonna go read it to remind myself. Yeah. I don't run them in arena, so there's probably someone better to answer that.
No, you will answer, T-Money. God damn it.
I do have them double Zetaed. It's so strange because I have my crew team double Zetaed. They're all gear 11 and 12. I have Emperor Palpatine Zetaed. That team is all 11 and 12, except I'm running a gear 10 Sith Trooper right now as I gear them up. But they're just going on in territory wars, and I don't use them, and we don't have Galactic War, so I can't even, kind of grab them and use them.
Yeah, you can go in there and play around with it.
Okay, yeah, I could.
Do you want me to read the unique?
Yeah, I got it too. Go ahead.
So while Palpatine is active at the start of each enemy turn, they take damage equal to 20% of their max health for each of the following: if they are shocked, if they are Jedi, if they are rebel. This damage can't defeat enemies. Palpatine has 50% max protection, and when he inflicts shock, he gains 5% max protection until the end of encounter. So it just keeps stacking his. Every time he gets a shock, his health pool just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So protection pool, should I say?
And the Zeta is that he gets the 50% max protection when you put a Zeta on it, and the 5% max
and the protection recovery.
And the protection.
It's the protection recovery. Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic. I think it's a fantastic Zeta, and I think you really need to have it if you want to run Palpatine in anywhere, because he's already so squishy, right? It's kind of surprising to hit him now, and you're like, oh, he did just go down with a couple of pokes. Like he actually, when he's Zetaed, he's a little bit tanky for that protection side. When it comes to the health, he's still really squishy, but he always seems to do his health steal move just when he's almost dead. You can't leave him alone. You just got to kill him.
All right. So we are going to get to the fun questions and shut the old stream down.
One second, Ranger.
Huh?
There's going to be one other question coming in before the fun questions. I'm putting it in right now, just so you know.
Well, then why don't you read it to us, Finn?
I'm putting it in there.
Oh, you want me to read it? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's there. I just posted it.
All right, we will go to King Felix on this one. This is from Fan Tasty. Has anyone tried the possible combo between Yoda's Do or Do Not Zeta and Night Sister Zombie under Adventurous Team for the Sith Raid? Okay.
I definitely don't even have Yoda or Hermit Yoda unlocked, so I have not tried that. I know he's really because of all the health he gives, but I also don't have zombie geared it either. So, somebody else?
This is actually a side project Fantasy and I are working on. Is his idea, but I finally found fan who has Ad Astra, who's a Jedi enthusiast. We had them on stream last week, and I guess that so the thing is that you put Yoda's buff onto Zombie dies, and with the Zeta, all of his cooldowns reset, and I think he gets 100% turn meter, and then Zombie revives, obviously, and then Yoda can heal the whole team up. So what an amazing ability for the raid, but his cooldowns aren't resetting, and he's not getting turn meter when Zombie dies. So I don't know if that's a bug or if there's if they caught that little loophole, but unfortunately it's not working.
The default answer is working as intended.
Yeah, working as intended, or we'll change the text and then it will be.
All right. Now we get to the fun questions. So, fun questions. Ewok in question. Why doesn't Ranger have a 7-star Sion? Because I ain't spending another dime in this damn game. I was working on him. He almost a 5-star. I was investing, and then it's like, nope. Not going to spend another dime until they fix this crap. So, sorry, E. I did spend money on the game. I did on Vista and Zion. I had more on Zion. They're both 4 stars. I was gearing them up. I was doing all that stuff, and it's like, no, I'm done. Well, for now. So, maybe one day. Xylo Takedown has a question. What new tune would you guys like to see in game other than Lord Revan, our Lord and Savior, or Jedi Luke? Around the corn, different answers. Who would like to go first? Who would you guys like to see other than those two?
Jango Fett.
Jango Fett. We got a Jango Fett. I see your Jango Fett, and I raise you. Somebody else?
C-3PO.
C-3PO. Yep.
Weechi. I'm going Weechi.
The Golden God.
Wicked's brother, Weechi. That's the one.
No,
AKA
no
Oscar.
No Finn.
I'd love to say, I don't know his name. I can't remember his name, but I'd love to see the little the Jedi Wookiee.
Have you seen Jango Fett? I've always liked the bounty hunters, so I just got to be Bosk. Stick Bosk in there, a bit of lizard action.
Yeah.
You know, the bounty hunters are the only faction that we haven't had a legendary event for. I mean, I think there's a couple that like the Geonosians and the Tuskens, but it seems pretty reasonable that they would have a legendary event for Jango.
Mm-hmm.
Clones either.
What's that, clones?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Next question from Hans Omar. Oh, I'm not reading all that. Hans. If you could say someone from Star Wars The Last Jedi, who and why, except Princess Leia? Anybody want to say from that movie?
Save someone?
Yeah.
I've already erased that movie from my memory.
Yeah, Admiral Akbar, that's right. No, it's a trap. It was a trap.
Yeah, I love the little fish dude. Fish captain needs to survive.
He's Mon Calamari, not fish dude. Finn, Jesus.
He's fish dude.
Squid rings.
Yeah, you know. I Am Seiya says, question, anyone else living close to the Assassin Master Urban Blaster to let him take over their accounts? Well, we know that good old Warrior did. If you have not seen that, it's so great. Go watch those videos. One of him doing Sion, and then they did a review. It's so good. I don't know if anybody else is in the Denver area that would go. I mean, if I lived next to Urban, I'd be at his house every day. I'd be freaking playing this game.
Eating some gamer fuel.
That's right. You know, a little Mountain Dew, a little, the pizza things. You know.
And let's put some whipped cream on it.
Oh, God. When are we going to get another gamer fuel, man? I know he's been busy.
I don't know. We'll have to work something with Urban Blaster. Between his gamer fuel and my Twinkie maker, there has to be something.
There's got to be something we can do. When you combine our powers. Oh, we've got to make it happen.
You could make Star Wars character food, couldn't you?
Oh, you could.
Oh, yeah. But if you watch Gamer
Admiral
Fuel, that's
Akbar
way too
Mon Calamari.
Yes, calamari Twinkies for Akbar. There we go. That has to be something on the list.
Oh my God. Oh.
Yellow snow cones for one puff.
You've already got the perfect name. It's RSG Cantina Food.
Have the Swedish
Only
chef
revenue
cooking
stream.
Ernie Gurney, Twinkie Kamari. All right, and last one from Grim Question. I have 1,299 crystals. Should I buy a sign pack or a Vistas Mar pack? Anybody? Bueller?
Was that a tumbleweed?
Test your luck with Vistas Mar.
Yeah. Definitely Vistas Mar. Definitely 30 minutes to Wapner. Okay, so that's all the questions. So we're going to go and pimp everybody's stuff now. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for being here today. Very much appreciated. I do want to give a couple shout-outs. Make sure you go check out Cubs channel. Everything's linked below in the description. Also like to give a shout out to a couple of up-and-coming YouTubers out there that have been huge supporters of the show. We got Hagar. Check out his channel. We got Xylo Takedown. He's a great contributor to this show, but check out his videos. Mad Dad, and then someone I didn't know had a YouTube channel. Twi'lek has a channel. He does YouTube for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. I need to get him on, man. But those guys have been great contributors, so check out their stuff as well. They support the show, and we'd like to support them back. But that being said, let's go around the corn, as old Grande Petroni would say, and let everybody pimp their stuff. We'll just go down the top list and work my way down. Mike, where can folks check you out?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah, we can.
I've got a YouTube channel. I need to upload. I've got so many flight mode attempts, woeful attempts of Sith raids, and and I'm going to ask everyone, where am I going wrong? I think that the response will be put the game down. But hey, mike.hunt.swgoh on YouTube.
There you go.
Say hi.
Hey. Turbo, where can folks check you out at?
Turbs on YouTube. If you struggle to find Turbs, I'm sure you won't, but add SWGOH and you'll find us. I'm going to stick some Sith Raid stuff on in a similar vein to Mike. I actually set my video recording. I think I was on there for about 45 minutes and actually got the error on my phone saying I've run out of memory. I was waiting that long for a decent run. So I'm very similar to Mike. But no, check out the channel. There's not any subscribers, obviously always welcome. But I just enjoy hanging out with you guys on here. Check out the RSG guys, they do great stuff. And everybody on here does.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. T Money G, where can folks find you?
Where can folks find me?
Other than Canada.
Other than Canada, and tonight on the RSG. Do you tell people about that on here?
No, well, yeah.
Or is it secret?
Well, of course.
The RSG Mature channel. So I'm on usually every Saturday night with Ranger, and I'm much less well behaved than I was here. I'm very proud of myself for not.
You did very well.
I did. I didn't cuss. I didn't anything.
You didn't call me mother effer, nothing. I
didn't yell at you. Yeah, I'm completely sober. So yes, every Saturday night I come and we hang out there. And then every Thursday night I co-host a stream with good old Maurice, Grand Admiral Teals, and Darth Bob called the League of Extraordinary Nerf Herders. And you can just search League of Extraordinary Nerf Herders on YouTube to find us.
That's right.
We do we're pretty nerdy. We go pretty deep into the game. We've got some really smart folks. We have a fanboy, fangirl specials all the time where we have people who aren't whales but they love a certain faction. So they love like a 1.8 million GP and they have all their bounty hunters maxed with all of the Gear 12 gear on, that sort of thing. And they talk about how to play their faction. And then there's a lot of nonsense and inappropriate behavior. It is 18 plus. So if you're below 18, grow up.
That's right.
Because you're not allowed to listen until you do.
No. Anything you'd like to shout out, King Felix?
Back in the States in 2 months.
I know. We can't wait to have you back.
Awesome.
Then I won't have to stay up late as hell to do this stream.
Can't wait to have you back, man. I'm sure you can't wait to be back either.
No,
All right, and then if you're listening to this, of course, you're on the Reality Skewed Gamers channel. We stream all the time now because Finn has pushed me to the brink of being a broken and bitter man in front of you. No, we love doing it. So we, on Saturdays, of course, we have the Jedi Academy, which you guys are all here for right now. If you're listening to this later, you can check us out on iTunes. You can download us and listen to us through the podcast function and listen to us whenever you can. YouTube has some new features where you can go back and check us out on YouTube. They have the chat function where you can go back and watch the chat as it's replaying as we're watching it. That's a nice new feature that YouTube has added. Not too shabby. And then tonight, of course, we'll be on the other channel, the RSG Mature channel, and we will be doing like we always do, sitting back, drinking, having fun, talking about the gaming. Look, you'll do game stuff, but really, we're doing Mad Libs. We're just cutting up. We're just having a good old time. It is for mature audience only, just saying, 18 or older. And then during the week, Monday through Friday, we have the RSG lunch stream. We stream about an hour where we just sit there, relax for your lunch stream, something to listen to. We can answer some questions and play the game and get to the latest and greatest of Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. And then Wednesday, of course, we have the Wednesday night stream at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we break down the latest and greatest in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes news and tell you what it all means. So that's kind of what we got going on. We got some other games we've been playing. We've been doing some Borderlands 2. We've been doing some Diablo. We got some more games we're coming down the pipe. If the government would ever give me my damn money, I could get the other games going. Stupid government. Stupid, dumb, stupid. I digress, though. But thank you all for being here. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, not only for us, but all these other guys. They take the time out of their busy schedules to be here and, so support their channels. The way to support the channel is to give them the thumbs up and subscribe so you can support them in that way. We want to get the community growing. If we had a question here that we didn't get to, or you have one that you want us to answer, just come to the RSG Discord, link down below, and we have a great section of just in general or questions and answers where you can just go there, and we've got a ton of people in the Discord, and we were only there for one purpose, and that's to help you out, whether you're a new player, whether you're an old player. So come check us out in the Discord. All are welcome, and we really appreciate all the support. So on behalf of myself and the RSG crew of the Lightsaber Builder Loki and Dr. Finn Medicine Woman, thank you T Money, thank you Cubs, thank you King Felix, thank you Turbo, thank you Mike for all being here. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. If we don't see you till next time we stream, either tonight or whenever, then be safe, and we will holler at you later. Take care.
Thanks, bud.